We've got Coach Elko here. Texas A&M travels to Texas on Friday for a 6:30 Central Time kick on ABC. So with that being said, Coach, why don't you begin with an opening statement?
Yeah, first of all, wrapping up Samford, players of the game, scout team on defense, we went with Kendall Jackson. On offense, it was Preston Landis, who obviously got a chance to score on Saturday, which was great for him. And then on special teams, it was Zach Clay. Our lineman of the week on offense was Robbie Bourdon. I thought it was great to get him out there, get him a lot of reps. Thought we saw a lot of really good football from him. And then on defense, it was Marco Jones. I thought Marco had a really, really big day, very productive. Players of the game, offensively, we went with Amari Daniels. It's great to see him get over 100 yards, get a touchdown on senior day. That was a really cool moment for him. Defensive player of the game was Landon Rink, another guy who up front I thought had a really, really disruptive day. Wanted to give another shout out to Noah McHale. I thought he was the other one that was really close for that, another kid who had a really, really good football game for us. And then the special teams player of the week was Landon Rink also for getting the big block and preserving the shutout. Would have went to Javon Thomas had he not gotten tackled by the kicker. I told him I was going to say that in the press conference today. But no. And so proud of our guys, proud of how we handled it. And now we turn our attention to the Cotton Holdings Lone Star Showdown and another great opportunity on Thanksgiving weekend to play our rivals. So from there, we'll open up to questions.
Coach, we'll go to the right, third row, David.
Texas's defense, or just their team in particular, remind you of anybody you've played this year with that strong defensive line, the way they go about their business? Anything that gets you prepared for this game?
They're really talented. They're a really talented football team. Obviously, anytime you play this game, it's going to have a little bit of a different energy about it. That'll be one of the biggest challenges that comes along with it, and I think it'll be an exciting opportunity for us Friday night.
To the left, fourth row, Rob.
Howdy.
So what does it mean about this conference that you guys are pretty much going to have the perfect season just to get into the conference championship game? Talk about the grind and what it means.
Yeah, I think obviously the way things broke this year with our schedule inhibited some of our tiebreaker abilities, and so it's going to force us to go 8-0 to get to Atlanta, and it is what it is. I think in another year, certainly last year it wouldn't have taken the same, but that's just how this conference goes. And so you got a lot of teams playing each other, battling it out, and we're just fortunate to still be in it going into the last weekend of the year again.
We'll stay to the left, second row, Aaron.
Hey, Coach.
Hey.
Besides the obvious difference, how does the game being on a Friday night affect kind of the week's preparation, especially for a big game like this?
Yeah, I think obviously with the magnitude of this game, it certainly isn't the first time we're diving into watching them, and so that helps. It's not like sometimes you throw these short weeks into the middle of the season against an opponent you don't play very much, and that makes it a little bit harder from a preparation standpoint. I'm quite certain that they do. I know we do spend time on each other in the off season, and so it's not like when you turn the film on, it's the first time you've seen the schemes that you're going against. And so from a preparation standpoint, I think you're in a little bit better situation just because of who you're playing. For the players, you're just trying to balance the ability to get them the reps and the mental reps that they need to prepare and get ready for the game. Also understanding that physically you're one day closer to the game than you normally are. And so today, for example, is a Monday preparation day, but a Tuesday on the calendar in relation to when the game is. And so I just think you try to balance both of those things to make sure that you get them ready physically and mentally to go out Friday and be ready to play.
We'll go to the right front, Travis.
Mike, with KC for y'all, Niblet for them, how much is special teams maybe a focus of this game and in just rivalry games in general when the margins can be thin?
Yeah, I think when you talk about this game, I think the critical factors of football will play a huge role, right? Turnover margin is going to play a big role. Explosive plays is going to play a big role. Winning on special teams is going to play a big role. When you have two teams that are going to go battle it out without a ton of separation between the two of them, it's going to come down to those really important factors that'll determine winning and losing, and so that's where you've got to try to stay on the front end of it.
And from the film study that you've done, how do you feel like this Texas team is different now than they were at the beginning of the season?
Yeah, certainly they were playing a lot of young guys and a lot of new starters, and I think as they've gone through the season, you've seen a lot of growth. You would anticipate that. They do a really good job developing their guys, and it's a good football team.
To the left, second row, Alex.
First, just what do you feel like it is about your offense that you guys have been able to just play so well on the road and have the success on that side of the ball?
Yeah, obviously, I think we have an ability to be explosive. That helps, not being locked into having to always put together, 13, 14, 15 play drives. I think those are the things that become a lot more challenging when you go on the road with the environment and the crowd and the defense playing with a little bit more energy. Sometimes it's hard to, execute 15 straight plays. So I think some of our explosiveness has really been important for us. I think you've seen that in each of our road games, and that's been important and certainly will be important Friday night.
And then just wanted to ask you about Tyler White and just the ability for him and his brother to play together this season, especially after losing their dad earlier this season unexpectedly.
Yeah, I think it's been a real challenge for Tyler. I think he's gone through a lot mentally. I think he's leaned on some of the resources within our program to help and support him through, which is what has been a really difficult situation. Obviously, I think one of the reasons why we tried to help get his brother here was to help put the family back together so that they weren't having to deal with it in isolation in separate parts or separate universities, and so that always helps. And the support system in and around the program has done everything we can to support and help him, but it's certainly a very challenging thing that he's been going through.
Coach, we'll go all the way in the back, Tyler.
Yeah, Mike, what have you seen from Arch Manning? Is kind of to the you talked about developing them as a team. Have you seen maybe a different player the start of this season to how he's playing now?
Yeah, he's a really talented quarterback. I think he's capable of making a lot of throws and has really athletic feet and can do a lot of things.
Coach, we'll go right next to Donna.
Coach, you kind of touched on it on Saturday, but how do you balance just with all of the, call it pageantry around this game and what the rivalry means and all of that? How do you kind of balance that with your players with just keeping focus on the task at hand?
Yeah, I think that's the biggest challenge in this game and it's rivalry games in general. I don't know that it's necessarily even specific to this one. It's, the emotions are going to be high. The energy is going to be high. Through all of that, you've got to find a laser focus to do the things that you have to do to go out and be successful, play in and play out. Sometimes you can want something so bad it almost blinds you. You got to be really careful of that, and I think that's always the thing that comes up in these rivalry games when you talk about how bad each team wants to be successful. It's the team that can really kind of rise above the moment a little bit and maintain that focus and maintain the composure that they need to go out and be successful.
We'll go to the third row to the left, Matthew.
Ending the season on such a big away game, how do you think your team has matured after the trip to South Bend earlier this season?
Certainly we've gone on the road 3 other times and had success in one. That shows maturity. We're 11-0. That shows maturity. We've found a way to be successful each week. That shows maturity. We'll see how it plays out Friday.
We'll go all the way in the back again to the right.
Coach, Amari talked on Saturday about how finish was a big word you guys emphasized in the offseason. How much have you guys mentioned finishing this week, and is that kind of the message or the word you're taking through this week?
Yeah, I think it's it's probably not as important this week, to be honest. As much as finishing in the game will matter, because I'm sure this will be a fourth quarter game, like it always will be. I think it was a mindset to get us through some of the hard parts of the season. Obviously, this is the final week, and so finishing the season is important, and finishing this week and this journey is important. I think the magnitude of this moment will create enough energy that it doesn't really need to be a big part of it. We'll talk a lot about finishing within the game and finishing plays for sure, though.
We'll go back over to the left, third row, Aiden.
Howdy, Coach.
Howdy.
When you were interviewing for this job a little while back, what did the athletic staff do to describe the sheer importance of this game to the 12th man?
Honestly, nothing. I don't think this game came up in my interview process. Now, having been a college football fan and having been here for 4 years, I didn't probably need a ton of explaining on what the magnitude of this game was. I said this last year, the amount of times that this rivalry was mentioned prior to us even playing kind of gave me a little bit of an indicator of what it would be like when we got back on the field together. And, obviously last year was a huge event here in College Station. I'm sure this is back there now for the first time, and so I'm sure it'll be very similar there. And I'm sure there'll be a ton of electricity in the air when we kick off.
And then one other question, sir. What did you tell the players this week to get their focus to maintain on this game, that this is the challenge ahead?
Oh, I don't have to tell them very much. I think they're pretty much clear on this one. This is an easy one to get their attention for.
Coach, all the way in the back again, Chip.
What kind of challenges does all their pre-snap movement and motions present defensively?
A lot. I think a lot. I think how you handle that and how you handle those adjustments will matter. They're very precise in how they go about what they're doing and how they're trying to create different leverages. And so I think it plays a big role.
Go to the front left, Tony.
Mike, obviously you see Texas in development under Arch Manning. They've gotten better, another young quarterback. You guys have a similar situation. What have you seen from them from week one to now that has kind of just stood out to you as you prepare for them?
Yeah, and they're a really good football team and can't wait for Friday.
We're going to go to the right, Carter.
Ike, do you expect Moss to be available this Saturday or Friday?
We'll see. Probably not, but we'll see.
Okay. And Owens and Craver?
Those guys are awesome.
Awesome. Cool. And we're about to talk to Trev. Just what did it mean for you that he got a new contract as well? And did you know that was kind of in the works for a while? And yeah, just what it kind of meant to you?
Yeah, I think it's really important. I think continuity is really important. I think stability is really important. I've really appreciated our partnership as we've gone through and built this thing. He's been a lot of fun to work with as we've talked about kind of elevating this program into a championship level program. He obviously has experience in it as a player and in his time at Nebraska, and it's been a great partnership, and so excited that it's going to continue for the foreseeable future.
We'll stay to the right, second row, Brian.
Mike, I know you've talked about Marcel throughout the course of the year, but what makes you, or what moments happened, or what stands out in your mind that really made you think this guy is ready for big time moments?
Yeah, I mean, certainly when he led us on a game-winning touchdown drive in South Bend, when he brought us to victory at Arkansas, when we needed to score on every possession, when he rallied us back from being down 30-3 at halftime against South Carolina and went, threw for almost 300 yards in the second half, and any of the ones in between probably, but those would be the three that stand out the most.
Yeah. And just a quick follow-up, I mean, just how much about this offense is about maintaining balance on Friday night? I guess it is, getting contributions from everybody.
Yeah, I think in big games in this league, physicality matters. How you can control the line of scrimmage, how you can establish the line of scrimmage. Those things always seem to play really, really big when two good SEC football teams play each other. And so I think who controls the trenches more often than not will have a huge upper hand Friday night. I think that'll be a big piece of this equation for sure.
We'll go back over to the left, fourth row, Rob.
Coach Morrison is playing the Longhorns tonight. Did he say anything about you guys potentially bookending a victory over the Longhorns with Thanksgiving in the middle?
No, didn't get a chance. Obviously, we'll be watching and we'll be cheering for him, and ton of respect for him and his program, and hope the girls go out tonight and get the job done. But I'm sure he's busy in preparation. So are we, and so don't have a ton of time to hop on calls like that right now.
Coach, we'll go to the front left, Robert.
Mike, it's one thing for the coaches and players to talk about this rivalry, but what of the fact that you guys took part in it last year, the coaches and everyone, how does that maybe move forward affect it this year?
Yeah, I think you get a feel for it. Again, I think I don't know that it I think it was what I thought it would be last year. I knew it was going to be electric. It was. I knew there was going to be a lot of energy in it. There was. When you watch the speed of the game relative to the speed of other games, it's a lot faster. Yeah, everybody seems to be running a step or two faster in this game because of how much it means. That's what happens when the energy gets up to that level. And so it certainly, I guess, maybe reaffirmed what I thought it would be like, but certainly kind of how I anticipated it would go.
All right, anything else for Coach?
All
Great,
right.
thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Will, what's just kind of the feeling going into this one with what all is at stake?
This is the one we've been waiting for, since, SEC Media Day, all the guys have been talking about it, the questions that came up, and it's finally here. So we're working hard to prepare for it, and we're real excited about this one.
What do you think about Texas' passing game as y'all watched the scout ball?
Yeah, it's real. They got a real nice scheme. Head coach do a good job of getting their receivers open and doing a lot of motions to get them free and undisguise the defense. So we just got to stay in our disguise, and hopefully everything plays out perfect for us.
What maybe lessons did you learn from the game last season, and including the build-up to that game, and what have you guys kind of thought, just think back to that game?
Yeah, we really just got to lean on each other, play 4 quarters worth of football, just not make this game such a big, special game, play how we done played the rest of the games, and we're going to be just fine.
You said you want to keep it the same, but do you feel like there's a little bit of intensity cranked up this week?
Yeah, this week it's always intensity when we play these guys, It's real important to us to come out and win this game, but we just got to stay level-minded and just play this game how we done played every other game, and we're going to be just fine.
Do you feel like there's a little more meaning behind it now that y'all played in this one last year?
Yeah, of course. It's all the history. Me being a guy from St. Louis, I don't know too much about it, but just what the guys from Texas talk about and the guys that played here, the coaches that played here, it's real big history with this game. So you got to attack it with all your heart, and just give it your all. But at the same time, you got to stay level-minded and just know what comes ahead.
As you've watched film, have you seen their passing game change at all, develop at all through the season?
Yeah, they do a good job of running the same route concept, but they get to it differently. You'll see a lot of the same routes, but they get to them differently, with the motions and everything like that. But, it's a real good job on their offensive coordinator and their guys of, developing their offense to make explosive plays.
What does your pick six rank among your favorite plays you've had?
It's definitely my favorite play I done had, just a big game like that and the whole outcome of how it ended, that sucks. But, just living in that moment and being a part of it, that's a big moment for me for sure.
To that note, how much have you guys been kind of emphasizing trying to get more turnovers here these last few weeks?
Just doing what we doing. Emphasize more on punching the ball out and being more disruptive on defense. But we just gonna keep doing what we've been doing, and it's gonna come to us for sure.
Well, if you can speak for your whole team, how important is it for you guys to reach the SEC championship game? Because y'all are already in the playoff, so you already got that one assured.
Yeah, Coach Elko said, every game from here, it's a championship, So every game here, you want to win this one so we can get to the SEC championship and lock that spot in. And then, anything beyond that, we don't get no more chances. So you got to take every game this Friday as important as it is because it's a championship on the line. So that's how we're looking at it.
What would it mean to you to be a part of the team that takes A&M to their first conference championship since 3 decades ago?
It'd be amazing, me personally, my high school career, it got ended short because of COVID, so I never got to experience a state championship or anything like that. And so, being a part of the SEC championship for a long time and recreating history here at Texas A&M would be amazing.
So you have a history of playing them even before A&M. So how long did it take you to decide you hated the Longhorns?
It took me the first game I played them at Kansas State. We were so close, and then that last play at the goal line didn't fall and come our way. So ever since then, I had a little hate built up for them.
How do you balance the emotion of a rivalry game, but not playing emotional during the game?
Just our preparation. How we prepare during the week. That just keeps us balanced because we know what we're finna do. We know what we're finna get, so we're prepared for it. So we don't really got to tie into all the little details, and we just got to key into all the stuff that we know. So all the little rivalries, chitter chat, we just not gonna worry about it and do what we need to do.
Do you feel like this team's good at checking its emotions during a game?
Yeah, of course. A lot of our guys, we really didn't bought into each other and understood what's bigger ahead of us. All that little stuff in the game at that moment could really cost us in the end. So our whole goal is to play 4 quarters and just worry about what we need to do.
You talked about earlier about how the mantra was finish. To be one final game in the regular season, everything's still obtainable. Just what's that say about you guys' effort this year and just the focus?
It's really just giving it our all, you know what I'm saying? We know what this game has in front of us, and we know all the championships that's ahead of us. So we really just got to focus on this one, do what we need to do, and then it's going to fall in our hands.
How has our Amaje stepped up, being a first-time captain. Is this kind of a leader of this team?
Yeah, I've been knew he was a leader, since our little rivalry when he was at Kansas and I was at Kansas State. So him being on that O-line and him leading those guys, I always knew he had it in him. And just how he carries himself in the locker room is really big, Like, he's always loose. He's never that guy that's going to be uptight and just be uncomfortable. He's real comfortable and makes everybody else comfortable. So, like, he's a great person to have on your team.
Was it a little weird the first time you saw him in this building, realizing y'all were on the same side now?
No, it wasn't that weird, but I talk about it every day, that we beat him when we played at Kansas State and he was at Kansas, and I make sure he remembers it every time. So, it's not weird at all.
I know the fans like the cheer. What does it do to the locker room?
Oh, it's amazing. Like, that chair has been through a lot. We done had zip ties put on it. I don't even know if it's the same chair. They done taped it, everything. That chair been through a lot, and just seeing Amaje carry it around, it's a good feeling and good excitement to the team.
How much conversation has there been for people, like you said, not from Texas or weren't in this game last year, to kind of lock in and tell them the importance of this one?
It's really about just being the togetherness as a team. Like, if you care about the man next to you and he's from Texas and you care about the history of the program, you know how big this game is. So, everybody's tied in together as a team and as a family, so everybody knows this is a big one.
That chair's starting to run out of space with all the stickers on it. Y'all got room for one more?
Yeah, we definitely got room for one more, and I know exactly where that spot's going to be at. So, yeah.
Remember in camp you had talked about kind of the disrespect y'all felt about the Texas 8-4 jokes and all the predictions that had kind of kept y'all at 8 wins or something.
Yeah.
How vindicating has it felt to just crush those expectations and kind of prove a lot of people wrong this year?
Yeah, we're not shocked. The guys here that's been putting in the work since the summer and then since the ending of last year, we all knew what we was capable of doing. But now it's just like that whole aspect of finishing. Like, we're not really thinking about being 11-0. At this point, we're just trying to be 1-0, and we're going to be 1-0 Friday, and we're going to get it done.
What is it about this team that you guys have played so well on the road for the most part?
Like the togetherness. Everybody stayed together, and everybody's been, picking each other up. Nobody's been looking at one side of the ball, the other side of the ball, and blaming each other. Everybody's picking each other up, and we're leaning on each other to make plays. So when you get that in the locker room at halftime and stuff like that, you shouldn't be surprised when we come out and execute well. So.
Obviously, you didn't grow up with the rivalry, but was there a moment when you were like, oh yeah, I understand exactly what this means?
Yeah, definitely. Like with Coach Peterson, my DB coach, he really sat in the cornerback room when we played him last year and broke down how important this game is and the history behind it. So just playing in it and hearing him talk about it really gave like the passion of how good this game is and how we need to execute and succeed on our end.
What were maybe some of the stories that he told you about his time playing in the rivalry at A&M?
Really, we talked about it today, really just like how he had a bitter taste in his mouth when he was a GA here. I think it was 2011 when Justin Tucker made the field goal. So, like, he told me about how he felt like it was an iffy late hit call that led up to the field goal and everything like that. And he just, like, ever since then he had a bitter taste in his mouth. And then last year, us not coming out with the, the win that we wanted. So, ever since then, it's like I kind of feel for him and I want to bring this win home for him, honestly.
Are there any teammates who've been extra vocal this week about what it means to them?
Honestly, a lot of the guys here, we're not really overdoing it. We're just taking it as another game, and we got to do what we're supposed to do, and we're going to get the outcome we want. So a lot of guys, it's just really regular, like a regular practice. We're not overemphasizing anything. We're just doing what we need to do, and we're going to get the outcome.
How do you think Dalton has elevated the secondary, and what has led to kind of? It seems like he makes a big play every game now.
Yeah, that's Dalton Brooks. I've never been shocked by it. Like, it happens every day at practice, and I just feel like us being in this scheme second year, it's just he's more comfortable and like he's seeing everything perfectly. Like, he's getting his reads right and then he's trusting it. So that's all it really is, just being comfortable in the scheme and trusting what you see. So, and that's how he comes down with plays. And, that's Dalton. So that's nothing surprising to me.
Couple more. Has he got a nickname yet?
Nah, they haven't gave Dalton a nickname yet. He really a quiet guy, honestly. So I'm going to give him one. After we win this one Friday, I'm going to give him one for sure.
All right. That's all right.
Yep.
Thanks, Will.
Yep, no problem.
Appreciate it. Obviously, the game speaks for itself this week. Just how's it feel to be here and just the emotion going into a rivalry game like this with what's at stake?
It feels good, It's the biggest game of the season because it's the next game of the season. So, we're gonna do everything that we've been doing, same. No added pressure to us for real. It's just it's a rivalry game, so it's a little bit more hatred, a little bit more emotion, and a little bit more attitude. So we're just gonna try to control that, stay in the greenhouse, and do what we're supposed to do, because that's all that matters.
How do y'all run effectively against a team like Texas that's, at least statistically, pretty good on run defense?
Yeah, statistically they are. So just challenge them. Try to single out a few players and, take our matchups where we can and then just honestly winning our one-on-ones. That's the main goal of our group this week because they do a lot of stuff that isolate a lot of players, so just winning our one-on-ones.
Sorry if we've asked you this before in the past, but where did the chair come from, and how are you interested? Is it that how much it's taken off?
The chair came from just something that Mafia used to help us get hyped for an upcoming game versus an opponent that we had that week. And it's just the mentality that we had that whole week after he did it. So some just told me, run out with the chair. And then we started winning and added stickers to it so it can't go away.
That chair's running out of room for stickers. Y'all got room for one more?
Definitely. We got room for FOMO.
What do you think of Elko smashing it?
Yeah, that was a crazy moment right there. I mean, it's just cultivation of our, everything we do, our community here, our teammates and our coaches, we all in the line. So it's pretty cool to see him, join in on the trend.
Do you think all the guys who are from out of state and even out of the country on the team understand what this rivalry means to maybe some of the, if not some of the players from Texas, but, the fans here?
Of course, they come in to this program understanding everything that we're trying to accomplish. It's not just because we're from here we understand it. It's because we in this program we understand it. Because we have a great culture here and a great unity. So I'm pretty sure they understand what's at stake here.
You guys talk about the mantra was finished this year. You're 11-0 heading into the final week. How vindicating is it to say, like, hey, everything we said we could do, we did it?
Well, the job's not done yet. We ain't did everything we said we can do yet, so the job's not done.
Everybody talks about the culture here, especially this season. How much do you feel like that's been different from years prior and other teams you've been on?
It's different here because it just means more. Everything, every detail, every minute thing, it just means more here. And we got the ability to accomplish everything that everybody in the country want to accomplish. So it just gives us a little bit extra motivation.
As one of the vocal leaders on this team, how do you channel emotions correctly in a rivalry game like this where you don't necessarily play emotional out on the field?
It starts with building a relationship with your teammates and know what gets them going and what calms them down. But a lot of these guys here are built for wars, built for these type of games. So, I already know, we might have to calm people down instead of pick people up this week, but just doing a good job and reminding people, don't get too high, don't get too low, stay level-headed until it's all zeros on the clock and we up by 100.
You had said earlier before the year that you guys wanted to be the Joe Moore Award winners, and you are semi-finalists, probably going to be finalists, I think. Why should this team be or this O-line be the Joe Moore Award winner?
For starters, for offensive linemen, physicality is one of the highest things on the board, and I feel like we're the most physical and most dominant offensive line unit in the country. Not just each position, but as a unit, we do it better than everybody else. And then our attention to detail, the schemes we run, we're good in it. We can run any type of scheme, zone, gap, downhill, and we pass protect. So we don't give up sacks. So, everything you want from an elite offensive line, we check off the list. Now we just got to check off the Joe Moore.
You guys have been so deep, playing 8, sometimes even 9 O-linemen. What benefits for you? Because you'll come off for entire drives. What benefits do you feel like that gives the whole group, and then also for you?
It gives us confidence to know that this next guy up, and then we can still do whatever we need to do, no matter who's on the field. It's just I commend everybody in that room because I know that's not what everybody want to do, but we get the job done. So it keep us fresh and keep us going, and it keep us paying attention to the details because we know that the next guy behind us can play at any school in the SEC.
Does it make you feel fresher than maybe your previous seasons at Kansas, where you're probably playing every play of the game?
Yeah, it don't faze me pretty much. I've been doing this a lot, but yeah, I can see just a few things in my body at the end of the games being a little fresher.
Being from Texas, what's one of your first memories of this rivalry, or do you have any early on memories?
He was my O-line coach at a point in time, Coach Grimes. He was a offensive lineman here. Just the iconic photo of him standing in front of the Texas player and just yelling and cussing. And I always talked and joked to him about it, and we talked about this game before. It's just that was one of my first memories, and then that awful kick.
I have a lot of things to play for. Obviously, try to get to the SEC championship game. It's a rivalry, the playoff and stuff like that. But I also wonder, do y'all ever among yourselves have much conversation about Marcel and this Heisman race and things like that? And if you do, what kind of discussion is it?
Oh yeah, in the offensive line room is we got on a mission, Project Get Marcel the Heisman. So just like if we just do our job and keep him clean, he gonna do it himself. So it ain't no real conversation because we already know like if we out there on the field and Marcel out there, he got a chance to win every award in the country.
This game means a lot to a lot of you, but what does it mean to Trey?
It means a lot to Trey. He's been the starting tackle, the pillar of this offense for a long time. And just having this conversation with Trey a minute ago, just telling him how much I appreciate him, how much he does for us and me personally, just allowing me to have a voice in here because he's been a leader here for since he got here. So it means a lot to Trey, just being able to fill up that ring box.
You know if he's still got that upside-down Longhorn in his room?
I'm pretty sure he does.
It's been a while since A&M's been to a conference title game. What would it mean to be a part of the team that got them back there?
It means a lot. But we don't really talk about what A&M haven't done because like we wasn't here or alive when they were doing it. So we don't really care. It's just this team, this season, and what we got ahead. I feel like we can be the first team just because we the first people to be on this team at this time. So.
Is there anything from the game last season that stuck with you from a revenge standpoint, maybe that you guys were able to do, or
a few things, but we're gonna get it handled. I don't want to speak on nobody.
Does it happen to include the players stomping on the field after the game?
Yeah, cowards do what cowards do.
Elko said he didn't have to tell you guys too much this week to get up, but what was his message to you guys?
Nothing. He just put Texas A&M versus Texas. That's all he put on the board. It's week 12. That's all he had to put on the board because we got everything in front of us. We playing for championships. We playing for rings. So he could have put anybody on the board and we would have been up for it.
What gives you the most confidence that you guys can add that last sticker to the chair this week?
Our preparation, our attention to detail, our ins and out, and starting from not foul count, but since we lost the game in Vegas, like every step of the way, we've been really hitting it hard and paying attention to every detail and trying to check everything off the list. And we've done it so far, so just keep going.
How cool was this for your mom, who's been an A&M fan her whole life?
Pretty cool, we kind of recreated the picture that they took when they was kids. So pretty cool on senior day. We got to do that. That means a lot. It kind of made me always dream of being here. So when I got here, she just been off the walls.
At DeSoto, how did people talk about this rivalry growing up and being from Dallas, being in the state? Did you watch it every Thanksgiving? Did you watch it? I mean, how important was it to you personally?
I think the last time I watched it was when Justin Tucker made that kick. But yeah, so my offensive line coach in high school was coached by Coach Grimes. So I always had that connection with A&M. I always been looking at this school, not just any game.
All right, that's a wrap.
Thank you.
Big Von Miller and Cyrus Gray fan?
Yeah, definitely. I appreciate